Hello YouTubers, I'm Parwiz and welcome to Python Firebase tutorial. So in this video we are going to talk about how you can use Firebase and Python programming language. Now there are some libraries that you can use for Firebase and Python. In this video particularly we are going to use Pyrebase library. Pyrebase is a simple Python wrapper for Firebase API. So in this video we are going to talk about Firebase Authentication, Firebase Real Time Database, and also Firebase Storage. Now I have said that I'm using Pyrebase for this video, even though there are some more libraries that you can use. The problem with the Pyrebase is that you can just use with these three services. So you can use with Firebase Authentication, Firebase Real Time Database, and Firebase Storage. Now I will have some videos on Firebase Admin SDK also as soon as possible. So using Firebase Admin SDK, you can work with more features on Firebase. So now let me just show you the documentation of Firebase. So guys, now if you see now this is you can see the Firebase. It's a simple Python wrapper for the Firebase API. And if you come down for the installation, you can just simply write pip install Firebase and it will be installed. Now I have said that the problem with this is that if you come down, you can see in the use services. Now a Firebase app can use multiple Firebase services. Now you can work with Firebase Auth, that is Firebase Authentication. You can work with Firebase Database, especially you can just work with Firebase Real Time Database. You cannot work with Cloud Firestore. Now also we have Firebase Storage. Now you can work with the storage, and in the authentication section you can work with the sign in with email and password. So now let's get started, and we are going to open our PyCharm IDE and start our coding in these services of Firebase and Python programming language. So now in this part we are going to create our first project in Firebase, and we are going to work with Firebase Authentication, and we are going to make example of authentication with email and password. So now I have opened my Firebase console. So now I'm going to click on add project, and in here you need to give your name to your project. So for example, let me just give it test, and after that click on continue. So now your project, and after this you need to click on continue, and you can select an account, default account, and create project. So now my project, I will wait for the project creation. Okay, my test project is created. After that I'm going to click on continue. So now you can see I have my test project, and so now we need to click on this web, and we need to first I need to give a nickname for my project, for my web app. For example, I'm going to give it test web app, and after that click on register app. So it will register your app that you will use. So now after that click on continue to console. So these are the information we need because we're using Python. We just need these information, and let me just copy all of them. So these are important information and you don't want to leak this, but when I complete this video and when I publish this video, I will remove this project from the Firebase. Now in here the first thing I need, I'm going to import Pyrebase. So Pyrebase, and in here I'm going to create a config, and in this section I'm going to paste these information. Now you need to just make this like this, because okay, you need to make it like this, and let me do this for all. Okay, now after adding your configuration in here, first I'm going to just create a Firebase in here, and we are going to use Firebase library dot initialize app, and we are going to add our configuration in here. So after this, now we are going to create an auth because we are going to use authentication. So Firebase dot auth, and now so Firebase dot auth. Now using Firebase, you cannot access to all functionality of Firebase. So if you see the documentation of Firebase, now let me just show you. Okay, now so if you see, so this is the installation, pip install Firebase, and it is a simple Python wrapper for Firebase API. Now if you see in here, okay, so use services, so you can use Firebase, you can use firebase.auth in the authentication section. You can use firebase.database, you can work with real-time database that I will show you the example, and also you can work with storage that I will show you the example. So you can use these three, and in firebase.auth you can just work with email and password. I will show you that there are different sections. So now after initializing this, I have forgot one thing in my Firebase project to after this click on continue. I need to, so you can see we have, if you check your Firebase, we have authentication, we have database, we have storage, hosting, function, and machine learning kit. So and if you click on the authentication, so there are different features. So you need to click on sign in methods, and in the sign in methods, okay, so you can see that we have email and password, we have phone, we have Google Play Games, and Facebook, Twitter, Yahoo. Right now you can just use with Firebase that email and password, this email and password. So you need to enable this before writing your code. Click on save. Now it is enabled. Okay, after creating your firebase.auth, now we need to create an input because we want to get the input from the user. So please enter your email, and also we need to give a password. So input, please enter your password. Okay, so after creating of your email and password, now we need to create our user. So I'm going to call it user, and you can use auth.create user with email and password, and we are going to pass our email and password in here. And after this, I'm going to just print something in the screen, in the console, that for example, a user created successfully. Now it's ready. We are going to just run this, and let me just run it. Okay, so okay, let me just close this once, and in here I need to add, make it correct. Now let me just run it again. Okay, please enter your email. So let me just give an email address in here, so a valid email address. And after this, please enter your password. So I'm going to give a password in here, hit enter. And okay, now user created successfully. And if I check my Firebase, so let me just, in the users, you will see that I have a user in here like this. So guys, this was creating user in Firebase using Python. Now if you want to sign in with this email and password that we have created, now how you can do this. So now let me just show you this example, and I'm going to just comment these two in here. So I'm going to create a sign in, and you can just simply use auth.sign in with email and password. You can give your email and you can give your password, and after that you can print, for example, if it was successful, I'm going to tell that sign in successful, sign in was successful, like this. Okay, so now let me just run it again, and oh sorry, in here we have given, okay, so now let me just run it. Okay, now I want to give my email address like this, and after that I'm going to give my password. So if I hit enter, and okay, now sign in was successful. If I give a wrong credentials, so let me just show you this time. This time I'm going to give a wrong password. I'm going to give my email address, and also now I'm going to give my password. This time I'm going to just give a wrong password like this. If I hit enter, you will see that I'm receiving an invalid password. So you can see message invalid password, and the reason is invalid. So like this you can work with sign in. Also, you can send email verification. For example, with the user that you have created, you want to send an email verification. So for this, let me just show you, and let me just comment this print, and now in here you can just simply use auth.sendEmail verification and sign in. So sign in, and in here you need to give the ID token, so ID token, like this. Okay, and you can just simply or just let me just run this, and it will work. Or I need to just comment this. Let me just close this, and I'm going to just okay, now let me just comment this email and password, and in here I'm going to just or sorry, okay, now and we don't need to comment. And here we need to just print that for example, email verification has been for example has been sent, like this. Okay, now if I run this, let me just run this, and so now in here I'm going to just give the email address that I have given at gmail.com, and after this I'm going to just give the password. So if I hit enter, and you will see that I will receive this message. Okay, now email verification has been sent. Now if I check my email address, so this is the email address, and let me just refresh this. Okay, now you can see we have verify your email for the project, and you can click on this, and you can click on this link, and it will be verified. So like this you can work with the verification, email verification in Firebase. So now you can see your email has been verified. You can now sign in with your new account. Okay, so also you can reset your password. For this let me just comment these two, and also comment the sign in, and in here I'm going to just create a auth dot send send password reset email, and I'm going to just give the email in here. And after this, let me just print a message on the console. So let me say we have sent an email, check your inbox, like this. Okay, now let me just run this, and okay, now I'm waiting for the email and password. So enter your email, and let me just give the email address and enter your password. And now I'm waiting. So we have sent an email, check your inbox. Now if I check my inbox, so you can see I have a new reset your password for project. And if I click on this, now let me just click on this. Sometime your request to reset, it's expired the link. Okay guys, now I don't know why I have received that error. Now I have run my project again, and you can see that now I have reset your password. Now let me just give my new password. So this time I want to give it 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So now let me just save this, and you can see you can now sign in with the new password. Now if I for example, now if I use my old password, I will receive invalid password. So let me just now run this, and I'm waiting for this. Okay, now let me just give the email address, and if I give my old password and if I hit enter, so you will see that I'm receiving the invalid password because I have changed that. Now if I give my new password, you will see that I will not receive any error. So okay, now let me just give it and now let me just give the new password. It was, I think, 8 up to 8, and yeah, sign in was successful. So like this you can work with authentication, Firebase authentication in Python programming language. So in the previous part we have learned about Firebase authentication in Python programming language. In this part we are going to create some examples of a database, especially real-time database, Firebase Real-Time Database. Now I'm going to click on database, and I want to create a real-time database in the Firebase console. So I have already my project. So you can see we have cloud file store, and also we have real-time database. Now let me just click on create database, and you can see that this is the security rules for a real-time database, and you can use start in locked mode, and you can use start in test mode. So it's recommended to use in locked mode. So if it is locked mode, you can see all third-party reads and writes will be denied, and you can see that for the rules the read and write are false. But if you make it start in test mode, anyone with your database reference will be able to read or write to your database, and you can see the rules are true. Now I'm going to choose this because this is a video series, and I will remove this project. Now let me just click on enable, and it will create the real-time database for me. So now I'm waiting, and the database will be created. Okay guys, now our database is created, and you can see it's real-time database, and we have a warning in here that your security rules are defined as public, so anyone can steal, modify, or delete data in your database. Now after this I'm going to open my PyCharm ID, and I have added my project configuration from the previous video. Okay, so the first thing I need, I'm going to just initialize my Firebase. So pyrebase.initialize app, and I'm going to add config in here. Now I want to create a DB, so Firebase database. Okay, so the first thing we are going to add push data to the database, to the Firebase Real-Time Database. So you can use push for pushing data into real-time database. Now for this, let me just create a data variable, and in here I want to add a name, and also the name I want to give my name. And after this you can use db.child, and you can give the child name. So let me just give users and dot push. So I want to push this data to the child users. Now let me just add data in here, and let me just print something in here, that data added to real-time database. Now let me just run this and okay, now I'm waiting, and it will add. So let me just open. Okay, now you can see we have data added to real time, and it was in real time. Now we have the child as users. If I click on this, this is the key, and I have this name in here that I have added. So you can set your own key. So this is created by Firebase console, but if you want, you can just create your own key. So now let me just show you, and I'm going to just copy this like this. Okay, now for setting your own key, you can create. So I have my data in here, and you can simply use db.child. so the child is users, and I want to add my own key, so own key, and you can set the data. You can set. Okay, so now this is the own key that you want. So whatever you want, but I have given own key. So now let me just run it again, and this time that you will see that let me make it like this. Now you can see we have our own key, and you can click on this. This time this is the name, and this was the previews that we have pushed to our Firebase like this. Okay, now also for example, if you want to update the data also, you can do. So let me just comment this. For updating the data, you can simply use db.child, and this is users, and dot child. This time I'm going to you need to give the key, so I'm going to use my own key that I have created. So this was this. I want to update this data, so like this, and you can simply call update, and in here you need to add, for example, for then I want to update the name, and I want to change this to John Doe. Okay, now you can also print a message, so data updated successfully like this, and you can run this your this real DB, and we will check that so it's in real time. And if I check so my own key, now you can see it's changed to John Doe, or this own key, but this is not changed. If you want to change this, let me just copy this and paste it in here. So I want to just comment these two, and instead of adding the own key, this time I'm going to add this key. So let me just sorry. Okay, so let me copy this and paste it instead of this own key. Okay, Now let me change this to, for example, updated name. And now if I run this, okay, now data updated, and if you see now it's changed to updated, and by using this key. Okay, now also you can get the data. For example, if you want, you can retrieve the data. So now let me just show you the retrieving in here. Let me close this. Okay, so for retrieving, let me just comment these two, and now okay, you can retrieve. So let me just create users, and you can use db.child, and you can add the users.get, and you can print users dot val. Now if I run this, and you can see that it will be in order dictionary, in Python order dictionary, and you can see this is the key, and we have our data in here. So also you can use for loop. So let me just show you, and let me just comment this, and comment this. Let me create all users db.child users.get, and now for users, so it is all underscore users, and all underscore users dot each, I'm going to print all the users dot value, and print users dot key. Now let me just run this. Okay, now you can see that this we have our key, and also we have our value in here. Also you can remove if you want to remove, for example, data from the real-time database. So you can do, let me just comment this. For that you can simply use db.child users and .child. So I'm going to give own key, so I want to remove that, and .remove. Okay, now you can print user removed like this, whatever you want you can write. Okay, so I want to remove so this is the own key, and if I run this, so now I'm waiting for this. Okay, user removed, and if I check this, I don't have that. So if you want to remove this, you can just copy the the key, and you can paste it in here, and you can run it again, so you can see that this will be also removed. So now we are waiting for the remove, and it will, okay, now it's removed, and we don't have any data in our real-time database. So like this you can work with the real-time database in Python programming language. In the previous part we have learned about the real-time database in Python Firebase. So in this part we are going to create example of storage in Firebase. So using storage you can save files, images to the storage of Firebase. So now let me just click on the storage, and so I'm going to create Okay, now after that you can see that this is storage, and you can click on store and retrieve user generated files like images, audios, and video without server side code. So now click on get started and click on next and click on done. So now I'm waiting for creating default bucket. Okay, now the storage has been created. Now we need to bring some change to the rules, so click on rules, and in here let me just remove this okay, now let me remove this, and instead I'm going to give it true. So and click on publish. Can app 2 minutes. Okay, now it is successfully published. Okay, now right now we don't have, if we see, we don't have any files in here, so I have created my basic setup for this. After this I'm going to just create a storage. So first I need to initialize the Firebase, so firebase.initialize, and I'm going to add config, and now I'm going to create storage, so storage, and I can use firebase.storage like this. Okay, now I want to add an image, so storage.child, and I'm going to create an images, for example, folder, and I want to you can give a name for your image, so let me call it new image.jpg, and you can use put, so .put, and in here you need to give the name of the image that you want to upload. For example, I have an image in here and I want to upload this, so it is football.jpg, and I can just print something in the screen, so print and image uploaded, so upload it. Okay, now let me just run this, and I'm waiting for this, and it will upload. So it will it's related to your image, for example, image size, and also if you have any video, or if you have any audio, or if you have any file. So image uploaded. Now if I check in here, so I don't have image. Okay, let me just refresh the storage. And I'm waiting. Okay, now you can see I have an images folder in here, and if I click, you can see that this is the image that I have created in here. Okay, so now also you can download this. For example, you want to download, so for downloading, let me just copy this, and you can just use storage.child, so it is images, and you can give the name of it was new image.jpg, so it is the name that we have saved it, so it's new image. And now after this .download, and in here you can give whatever name for your image, so let me give it downloaded.jpg. okay, so now you can just also print image downloaded. Now let me just run this, and I'm waiting for this. So also it will it's related to your size of image, or if you have image, or if you have any video, So you can use simply storage, and you can upload your data in the storage of Firebase. So okay, now you can see we have received image downloaded. Now if I check my directory, so in here I should have downloaded GPG. So you can see I have downloaded .gpg, and you can open this image if you want. So like this you can work with the storage of Firebase.